beyond what anyone may think or what anyone may tell you. Look at the fundamental evidence. You exist. You exist. There is a place for you here. That is a fact. You are here. That is a fact. You deserve to be here. You fit. You are not broken. It wasn't a mistake that you're here. It wasn't a mistake that you have the true personality that you do. Good evening. So I was going to try out a new style of content, and this is still going to be a new style of content, but not in the way that I was originally hoping it would be. I basically wanted to just share an encouraging message and kind of allow a message to come through for you guys, whilst I would also be playing a video game, right? And for the last hour, I've just been trying to do it, and I just can't. I just get so distracted by what I'm doing, or vice versa. Every time I get into the talking aspect, the gameplay greatly suffers because I'm just stood still, or I'm just wandering aimlessly, not doing anything. Basically, I cannot multitask at all. I'm not sure if multitasking is a thing that we're actually meant to be able to do, but that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, either way, I'm rubbish at it. I cannot do it. So to keep that same format, I'm going to have some pre-recorded gameplay up on the screen, just to still create that cozy kind of atmosphere, and just really make this a nice cozy video. So do let me know if you enjoy the vibe, the style of this video. Yeah, I would love to hear your feedback. But I have a message coming through today, and it's about being yourself. Shocker, right? I've already made videos on this topic, but it's something that I feel is so simple. It's so easily said, just be yourself, right? But when it comes down to it, it's actually it can feel like a very complex issue. Oh, well, how do I be myself? Where do I start? Or in other cases, if you're lucky to kind of know roughly kind of who you are and who you want to be, then it's still a case of, oh, well, I don't exactly know what fears are holding me back from being myself, so I don't know how to tackle it or how to go about it, and you end up just feeling kind of like you're in this fog. You end up feeling like you're just blocked, like there's this invisible wall, and no matter how hard you may try, you just can't brute force your way past it. Maybe it's because you've been living a fake persona for so long that you have kind of lost touch with the true you. You fundamentally don't really know who you are anymore. And that's okay. That happened to me, right? That I think that's a natural thing that happens when we do go years and years and years without owning our own opinions and finding our own kind of footing in this world, and putting our authentic feet forward, rather than, kind of, we learn to look around and go, oh, what does this person want me to do? Oh, what does this person want me to do? How should I behave in order to stay safe in this environment or around this person, or just stay safe in general so people won't abandon me? I apologise. But yeah, it's staying safe in general so people won't abandon me. It's a very deep-rooted issue, and it can have, everyone's fears are ultimately subjective. They'll all stem from a different set of events that took place in their life, in your life, and that's great. That's what makes us unique. But ultimately, there are similarities, I believe, especially when it comes to types of fears. So, for example, my experience with losing myself and finding my way back to myself, rediscovering who I want to be, it was a long process, and I lost myself because of, growing up, childhood stuff, being picked on, being made fun of. Back when I was growing up, there was this big roasting culture, right? It was like, oh, it's just banter, obviously being British. There is a lot of that kind of energy here where, we're just kind of overly mean and overly sarcastic and kind of, I don't know what the word is, just like, I don't want to say violent, we're verbally violent, but we're just kind of very brash with each other, and it's something that I didn't fully like catch on to when I was younger. I didn't fully understand it. I was a very sensitive kid. I felt things very deeply, and I had a hard time kind of fitting in growing up. I'm sure many of you can relate, especially if you're watching this kind of content, especially if you're watching like spiritual content. I'm sure you may have felt a bit out of place growing up, maybe like you don't really fit in. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you at all. That's the first thing to understand. But yeah, I felt like I was out of place. I felt like I was weird. People often said I was too emotional. I was a drama queen, or if I was hurt by something people would say, they'd kind of just be like, oh, it's just a joke, man. It's just a joke. Get over it. Oh, it's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep. Heard that one a lot. It's not that deep. But yeah, every time people would make fun of me, it's like, obviously we were in school, everyone was kind of insecure, and everyone was masking it, and I felt like I could really feel when someone was saying something, and on the surface they were like, oh, it's just a joke, but I could feel from their like intention, from the way they said it, from how they would laugh about it, how they would keep bringing it up. It felt like their intentions were very malicious, were very judgmental, were attacks in a way. And then I obviously just got really confused, because then they would turn around and say it was a joke, but then, if I reacted negatively, they'd still do it. So I don't think that's just joking around with your friends. That's that, my friend, is bullying. But yeah, so over time, when you're facing this kind of pain of being yourself, and every time you try to express yourself or express how you're feeling, it's kind of dismissed or kind of made fun of, or just taken in the complete way that you wouldn't want it to be taken. When you feel that sting of rejection again and again and again, over time, you kind of just, it makes sense. I'm getting hurt every time I express myself, so the way to not get hurt is to learn to be someone else. You look at the problem, and being that age, growing up, you kind of think, oh, the problem's me, because every time I do something, every time I express myself, say my truth, or express how I'm feeling, I get a negative response from people. Oh, well, I must be the problem. The problem behavior must be the expressing myself. So we internalize it a lot, and we get it wrong, we get it backwards. And the next phase of that is, I tried so hard, I put so much effort into kind of trying to master confident body language, trying to change myself, trying to morph myself into a person that people would like. Wow, that sounds really sad when I say it out loud. Yeah, but but honestly, I am grateful for everything I've been through, because obviously it's all led me to where I am now. But yeah, we internalize it all, and we believe that our action is the problem, but actually it isn't. Not in terms of when it comes to basic self-expression. Like, that's your birthright. It really is. You deserve to be yourself. You really do. Like, don't let anyone tell you that you shouldn't be yourself, or you shouldn't have that opinion, or you shouldn't think that way, or don't do that. No matter what the other person who's telling you that is, or no matter what their intention is, they may be trying to keep you safe, or they may think they're trying to keep you safe, or they may just not want to be seen with you if you're being weird, so don't do that, or that's their issue. That's their belief. That's their story. You deserve to be you. Fundamentally, at a basic baseline level, like literally, it should be your natural state. You deserve it to be your natural state. You deserve to be yourself. And that's why it sounds so simple. That's why be yourself sounds so simple. It sounds so like it should be just so fundamental to our human experience. But we've grown up in a world that's kind of told us that we should be someone else. So don't blame yourself. And don't blame other people. And I know that may seem hard at first, like, oh no, but this person really hurt me, or it was their fault that I ended up doing this, or it was their fault that I, yada yada yada. There's loads of stories, but fundamentally, all those people around us who were judging us, who were making fun of us, all the people who made us feel like we shouldn't be ourselves, they didn't know any better. Fundamentally, they didn't know any better. In my case, it was school children. We were kids. We were, at that point, we were very much a product of our parental and the kind of the shows we watched growing up. We were just sponges. We were just absorbing all this conditioning, and we didn't really fundamentally know who we were yet. And you know how kids are in school, like it's all anxiety and insecurity. And the thing is, the same thing goes for adults. So many adults are carrying around those same insecurities, those same worries and fears of being judged, of oh god, I need to stay in my box, or I need to stay in my box. And they're not aware of this, but it's probably something that happened when they were in primary school or something from really early on in life. But they carry that fear, and because it's subconscious, they've kind of forgotten that fear was relevant for that time in their life. That fear was relevant for when I was in school. It was a mechanism to keep me safe when I was in school, because I had to go to school the same day, have the same environment, see the same people, and I didn't know any better. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have the wisdom to know that, oh, they're just projecting their own insecurities onto me. It's not really anything to do with me. I didn't know that. So our fears that we've picked up, the thing that caused them, we have to remember, when that fear was caused, we were in a very different state. We were in a very different circumstance. And in a sense, we are in a most likely, hopefully, we're in a much better circumstance now, in a much better frame of mind, in a much better situation, a much safer situation, in which we can actually express ourselves and do the things that we felt we really couldn't do when we were that age. You're beautiful. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You are vibrant. You are a gorgeous, rich, unique expression of consciousness. You are a beautiful, divine, mystical human being. Seriously. All of you, every single one watching this video, and you in particular. And if that felt like I was lying to you when I was saying those words, then there's a fear there, then there's a doubt there, then there's a belief there of, oh no, I'm not good enough, oh no, I'm not worthy, oh no, I don't deserve that, I don't deserve to be myself. Why not? Why not? Oh, because I'm weird, or I'm too much, or I'm not enough, or I'm boring, or I'm this. No. No. Seriously. Get that out of your head. I know that's easier said than done, but seriously. Take the time, investigate it, get curious about those beliefs. Get curious about any beliefs. Whenever you feel a block, whenever you feel like you want to express an opinion but you're scared, whenever you feel like you want to say no, whenever you feel like you want to say yes, but you go to make a choice and there's this massive wall that comes up, this block. Stop, if you can. Stop and ask yourself, what is the worst possible thing? What is the worst possible thing that I think is going to happen if I express this opinion right now? If I say this to this person? If I do this? The easiest way to uncover those limiting beliefs we hold inside ourselves is to amplify that fear. Amplify it, make it more noticeable. Use our imagination. Seriously, get curious about it. What is the worst thing? What is the worst case scenario that you think is going to happen if you be yourself in that moment? And this will all be different kind of circumstances for all of you. Different kind of fears may come up. Maybe you're scared that you'll lose the friend you're talking to. Maybe you're scared that you won't get an outcome that you desire, the job you want. It could be a bunch of things, but I guarantee you it's down to a form of rejection. Like I said, we've all got very individual fears on the surface, but when you go beneath the surface, you can see they all root back to the same kind of mechanisms. The fear of rejection, fear of abandonment. And the thing is, I can't guarantee that people aren't going to turn their backs on you. I can't guarantee you that if you start being yourself, it's going to be smooth sailing, because you may have been this fake persona of yourself for so long that you've created a life around that persona. You've gravitated, you've maintained a certain network of friends, a certain network of family members, a certain network of, acquaintances, maybe even a job that deep down you may actually not want to work, but you feel that you need to because maybe you need to keep up appearances. But you have fundamentally built a life around this fake version of you. You have fundamentally built an entire reality. So when you start being the real version of you, you may find that a lot of things start shifting quickly, and on the surface, that may look like people falling away from your life, people rejecting you, people may get mad, people may get triggered. People may be like, oh, you've changed, man, you've changed. And on the surface, it may seem that your life is falling apart. It may seem that the world is coming down crashing around you and everything is going wrong. It may seem that everything is going bad, negative. But the thing is, those things need to happen. If you have built a life that isn't reflective of who you actually truly are, and you start taking those steps to be you, then essentially you're not going to be resonating with that life that you've built anymore. You may find that you're not resonating with those people anymore. And that job, don't want it. I want to do something that my heart's calling me to do. Something that I finally feel I have the courage or at least the knowledge that I want to do now that I've started being myself. And because of that, this pseudo life will start falling away. And again, it may seem very painful in the moment. It may seem very painful as the process is happening. But you've got to remember, all of that is happening for your highest good. Those things need to fall away to create space for the new to come in. You're changing on the inside. You're letting go of old identities, old beliefs, shedding those old patterns on the inside. That's reflected outwards. You're stepping into your power. You're starting to express what you actually do want, starting to embody who you really are. That's going to attract things that are reflective of that energy in. It's a process. This 3D world is just a reflection. It really is. On the fundamental level as well, because you're not going to resonate with things that you don't want to do. You're not going to resonate with things that aren't a reflection of you. You deserve to live the life of your dreams. I'm going to say it again. You deserve to live the life of your dreams. You deserve that, 100%. You deserve that. Say it again, one more time. You deserve to live the life of your dreams. I'm being serious, I'm not playing, I'm not joking. Look into my eyes. Seriously, guys. Each and every one of you deserve to live the life of your wildest dreams. Each and every one of you deserve to be your full, authentic, radiant self. Your beautiful, unique self. That deserves to exist. You wouldn't be that person. Fundamentally, you would not be that person if you did not belong here. If you didn't truly belong here. Look at the evidence. Look at the evidence. Beyond what anyone may think or what anyone may tell you, look at the fundamental evidence. You exist. You exist. There is a place for you here. Right? In this 3D experience. That is a fact. You are here watching this video. That is a fact. You deserve to be here. You fit. You are not broken. You aren't. It wasn't a mistake that you're here. It wasn't a mistake that you're watching this video. It wasn't a mistake that you have the true personality that you do. And that's why I say you're beautiful. That's why I say you're amazing. Because you are. That's why I say you're worthy. Because you literally are. Because you exist. And I know me saying this to you may feel like I'm just talking to a brick wall. It may feel like I'm, in a sense, lying to you, dependent on how many of those out of alignment belief systems you're still holding on to. It may feel like I'm lying to your face. I promise you I'm not. And I'm sure one day you will realise that too. And maybe I'm getting through to a few of you, causing a bit of an emotional reaction. That's okay. Let yourself feel it. If you feel like you want to cry, cry. If you feel like you want to get mad, get mad, you know. Let it out, it's all valid. You know, your emotions are completely valid. Your belief systems, even the negative ones, they would not be there without valid reason. It's like I was saying, mine were there because of my experiences growing up. Mine were there because I had this belief that if I tried to be myself, everything just gets worse. That was the kind of conclusion that I came to, and that my mind came to keep me safe growing up, you know. There's nothing bad about it, nothing wrong about it. It was serving me. But if you've got to the point where it feels suffocating to keep a fake persona, or it really feels like there's so much suffering inwardly because of these negative beliefs, these outdated beliefs, well then it means you've outgrown them. And it means it's time to let them go. They're not resonating with you anymore. They're not resonating with who you know yourself to be. A great sign about this, a great way to tell that this is true for you, is the fact that you're watching this video. You would not have clicked on this video. You would have not found this video. You would not be watching this type of content on YouTube if you weren't ready for this information. And besides, if you weren't ready for this information, you would have clicked off a long time ago. You'd be like, this dude is crazy, he does not know what he's talking about, or this video is boring, or it does not resonate with me, and you would have just whoosh, you would have clicked off. But if you're still here, this message is for you, 100%. Because there's a part of you. There's a part of you that's latched onto it. There's a part of you that knows, that hears what I'm saying, that resonates with it, and knows it to be true for yourself. Get curious about what beliefs are blocking you, what beliefs, what fears specifically for you are holding you back. Again, like I said, when you feel that wall, when you feel that block, when you feel that fear, when you feel that fog, you know, any kind of resistance, sit down, get quiet, take a moment and ask yourself, what is the worst thing, the worst possible scenario that I believe is going to happen if I follow my intuition right now, if I take a step in being myself. All right? And when that fear comes up, let it express. You know, the way I personally do it is I let that part of me, I let it speak. I literally let it speak. I listen, and if I feel an emotion coming up, if I feel sadness, if I feel anger coming up, I let that rage, I let that sadness encompass me. I embody it, and I voice it, I vocalize it. And I kind of start a dialogue. You know, that's my personal way that I do shadow work. But there are loads of ways. You know, you could journal, you could sit down and write out. You know, once you ask that question, like I said, what's the worst thing that could happen? Start writing. What is it? Write it down. And then write down, okay, why am I scared of this? Oh, because if that happens, I will be rejected. I feel if I express myself here, this person's going to reject me. I feel then if they reject me, that I'm going to be alone forever. Because if they don't like me, it's a physical confirmation of the fact that I'm just unlikable as a person. I'm unlovable. And I'm terrified of my reality reflecting that back to me. I'm terrified of someone rejecting me because I think maybe they might be right. It is never right. Your fears are never an accurate reflection of reality itself. Okay? So if someone does reject you, then that's them just not being in resonance with you. It does not mean that you are unworthy of love. Your fears are not seeing reality clearly. Because fears by nature, they need a story, they need a narrative to perpetuate them. And that's why there's this really good exercise. Actually, I'll give you this as well. Go on then. But there's this really good exercise that you can do where if you get present, meditate just for a bit, just take a few moments to get present, listen to the sounds around you, observe the thoughts coming in, observe them going, observe them in, observe them going, and get to that space where you're the observer, where you can just be truly present. And then once you're in that state, without coming up with any imaginal scene, any story, any narrative, staying in that true present moment state, I want you to try and feel angry. I want you to try and feel sad. I want you to try and feel any negative emotion. Remember, you're not allowed to use any visual components. You're not allowed to use any visualizations, any narratives, any beliefs, any stories. You're not allowed to use anything to try and conjure up a negative emotion. Just got to be in the moment, listening to the sounds around you. And from that state, just try and feel angry, try and feel sad. And I guarantee you, you will soon realize that in order to create a negative emotion, you need a story, a narrative. And that's why negative emotions are fundamentally illusory based. You know, they're fundamentally illusions. Once you kind of get to that root core belief and you see why they're there, it's like kind of seeing a magic trick and being amazed by it and kind of encapsulated by it, and then you see behind the curtain, or you see the ins and outs of how they did it, and then all of a sudden that magic trick is kind of ruined for you. You know, it doesn't have a hold on you anymore. It's like that. It's very much like that. You know, once you see the root cause of that belief, and you see where it was coming from and how you don't need to believe it anymore, and you let that emotional charge out, you let it out, you let it express in whatever way resonates with you. You know, I recommend looking up a few videos about shadow work if you haven't already, because there's lots of ways to do it. But fundamentally, the boil d'amage is just get curious about those beliefs. Get curious about them. Because I'm being serious now, okay? I'm being serious. I want you to be yourself. Seriously. Because not only by being yourself do you free yourself and allow yourself the opportunity to attract and manifest the genuinely authentic life of your dreams. But you make the world a better place. You do. You want to know how? Because you are not perpetuating any judgments. When you fully accept yourself and you fully understand that people's judgments of you are things that they judge within themselves, because that's something you'll realize by becoming your authentic self, is that you will let go of judgments. Well, then you're no longer projecting any negativity from those limiting beliefs that you're holding inside. You're diffusing overall negativity. You're no longer projecting it. And people may see you, people who have their own judgments, their own doubts, people who are stuck in their own kind of prison cells, they may see you and they may be triggered by you, because you're a shining example. You're a shining example of what's possible. That, oh, that person's so happy. Oh, I'm so jealous. But you're showing them fundamentally that it's possible. So whether you're having a reaction on people, whether it be negative or positive, whether a person's inspired by you or triggered by you, just know that you are making the world a better place, because you are a reflection to everyone who sees you, that they can be themselves too. You become a living example of the fact that you deserve to be yourself, and that is 100% possible for you and everyone on this planet. So just know that you're not only doing yourself a service, but you're doing humanity a service as a whole. Seriously. It's that deep. Okay, guys, thank you so much for sticking with me. If you stuck to the end, amazing. I thank you so much. Please, if you feel called to, give the video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments how you found it. Let me know if there's any topics you guys would like me to cover in future videos. Okay, guys. That felt good. That was a good video. I'm gonna have fun editing this. Okay, guys. Have a good one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.